Good afternoon, guys. So just to give you a summary of what we are going to be doing today, we are going to start actually drilling in the holes for the rear tail light panel and the trunk brace. And this is pretty much the trunk brace. So I already have where the holes are going to get marked. Are marked where we're going to make the holes, I should say. And that pretty much, you want to keep it on a flat surface. And then just go with a drill bit. I'm using a 5/16 inch drill bit, and I'm going to make the holes, and it shouldn't really be a big ordeal. Obviously you want to make sure that you get a good drill bit and have a good Alright guys, so finished drilling the holes. I could tell you the tougher ones were up here, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind the little extra metal pieces that came out when you were drilling the holes. And as you can see on this one, a little metal that's sticking up. So I'm going to put the grinder to it just to clean that up, and then I will start on the tail panel. Alright guys, so pretty much the same process that we had on the tail light panel brace. I already had the holes marked, and I think I've shown this before. And what I did was I measured on the original piece where the center point was. It's kind of easy to use reference points on the Mustangs. I mean, the parts are pretty well done, if not well done, pretty close to being perfect. But here would be where your trunk lock cylinder, and there's a rod that goes into the actual trunk that twists, and then that allows you to open up your trunk. So here is where the lock cylinder would be. So, using sense, you would kind of realize that you would have to find the center point, so that way there's no binding or anything like that. But what I did was just take measurements off of the original piece, the one with the pumper still attached to it, and just using the reference points of the trunk lock, and then how it sits on the taillight panel brakes. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Again, you want to have a decent flat surface, that way you're not when you're putting force, you're not twisting the actual object that you're trying to punch the holes in. So yeah, sometimes you may have to lubricate the drill bit. If you notice like it starts steaming, throw some penetrant on it, or lubricant, I should say, and that way you can let it cool down a little bit and then resume your hole. But that's what I'm going to be doing, guys. Alright guys, so hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of what I'm pretty much doing. Yeah, you should be wearing gloves. But I'm just starting the hole, just trying to get the drill bit to bite. And then as I go along, I'll go back over the ones that I already finished. Alright, so I'm going to continue with that, guys, and I will show you guys how it looks when I am done with the holes. Alright guys, so I had to switch out the drill bit. The other one already met its nature, I guess. But now we're moving along here. And it's funny when you're making the dots for the holes, it doesn't seem like that many, but then when you're punching them or drilling them, it seems like they're endless. Which it's always interesting how that works, right? Alright, pretty sure you guys get the point. But yeah, I had to swap out the drill bit because the other one is definitely worn and ready for the garbage can, wherever I put the garbage can. But these are the holes. So now what I'm going to do is I will pretty much grind down the other side wherever there may be any small metal fragments, like for instance this one right here, and then grind it down a little bit so that way when we weld it, it meets well. So we'll just grind a little bit of this black stuff off so that way we can get enough penetration with the weld. And then we will grind the areas over here where we are going to weld on to. So you know, the ones that we already made, we're gonna have to transfer the markings for the hole or sand this down, whatever. Usually you can get away by scuffing it, but you know, I want to make sure that it sticks well. Alright guys, so I got the grinder with the flat wheel ready to go, and pretty much just gonna grind it a little bit. Alright, so just to show you guys what I did, so that's pretty much you know, just smoothed out all that those burrs that build up, and then this will be a good welding foundation because you have a clean metal. This is EDP. Just usually it protects from the metal from rusting, so you just want to remove that barrier a little bit, and that's what it looks like. So over here I made these marks because we are going to weld on the trunk brace, like so, in there. So once we clamp it down, it'll sit flat, and then we'll just tack it in there. So that's the game of attack, or the plan of attack right now. I'm gonna flip this over and then do the opposite side. Alright guys, so we have the tail light panel flipped over, and I'm gonna start taking care of these rust spots. So same thing like I did on the other side. So I just want to show you guys quickly what I did, and I will finish up the rest of them. Alright guys, so going to take care of the tougher spots. This one has a little bit more angles to overcome. So instead of using the grinder flat wheel, because it won't be able to fit in there, I'm going to use a wire wheel and just pretty much sand down or scrape up wherever the brace is going to attach to. So theoretically it's going to go like that. So I already have where I'm going to sand down. So obviously guys, wear glasses with this because the wires on this do kind of fling everywhere. So I'm going to try to see if I could get a good shot for you guys. But that's pretty much what you want to end up doing. So I'm going to finish that up and check you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so I just did a test fit on the taillight brace to the actual taillight panel, and have it pretty much situated on the bottom where it's going to be. And then over here I have to clamp it down, but obviously be kind of careful because you don't want to cover up the hole that you're going to be welding onto. So just going to get some smaller clamps and tighten it up, and then same thing on that side. So it's pretty much where we're at. And hopefully we get to welding today. If not, no big deal. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to tack in the taillight brace. And what I want to do is test fit the panel or the taillight panel onto the actual trunk floor. But I need to put this on first. So I'm just going to tack it in place, and that way we can put it on. Alright guys, so just finished up the spot welding on the taillight brace. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clamp the taillight panel to the trunk to see if it fits correctly and make sure that it is straight, obviously. But right now we're just going to clamp it in place where it should be, and that's going by some of the reference points that they have. So originally on the taillight panel, when I went over it, they have large circles already pre-cut, and those are the ones that are used for the for the taillight panel, and also the lower valence to bolt onto the trunk floor. So those are going to be the reference points that we're going to be using. But then after that, we're going to have to make sure that the piece is straight. So what she looks like, and right now we just have it clamped in place. So it's kind of close to the door, so it's a tough shot, but that's what it looks like so far. And then on the inside, and obviously we need to draw it in a little bit closer to make up that gap. But that's where we're at, guys. Alright guys, welcome back. So this is what I am going to start working on as far as creating the inner rocker panel for the driver's side. So pretty much the concept is to use this as a template, as it is just the same, it's the same piece, just reversed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the lip, grab a nice piece of metal that is the same gauge, and pretty much what I want to do is see where and how much of a lip I'm going to need. So what we're going to do is measure the lip from the existing one, this guy, and then transfer that onto here. Give yourself a little bit of space, because when you do bend, you're not going to be having the same amount of lip that you originally wanted. And then from there, start making the holes, or marking where the holes are at, and then that way we can get the seatbelt nut location, and then go from there. So that's the plan. Should be fairly easy. Like I said, we're going to start off with the back half of it, or back third of it, and then go from there. So that's what I'm going to work on, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so I got a measuring tape just to make sure that the measurements are on spot. So measure the lip, and the lip is 1 inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back about 1 inch and 1/16 on this one. So I'm going to mark that, and that way I'll be able to have enough material to create the 1 inch lip. And like I said, I'm going to start measuring the distance from this hole to the beginning of the lip, or the curve, and that way I'll get the location and transfer it onto this piece of steel. So have a good marker next to you, something that you can see. These are very good, but this one is on its last leg. Pretty good marker actually, but that's what I'm going to be working on right now. Alright guys, so the thickness, or the height of this panel is 5 3/4. So what I did was I marked 5 3/4 on different points, so that way when I throw a straight edge or something that has a nice straight line, I can keep it going all the way across. So pretty much want to keep all these marks as a straight line. So what I'm going to do is I got a yellow crayon, crayon, and I'm going to use this piece of steel, which is straight, and then start marking it. So that way we can cut, and we'll give it a little bit of a overshot on it, so that way we can cut it with the cutting wheel, and we won't be losing the actual height that we need. So that's what we're going to do, and then we'll bend the lip, which is 1 inch, and that way when we cut it, it won't be that much to do at that point. Alright guys, so just as I was shooting, my dad brought a package that just came in, and this is from CJ Pony Parts, the outer rocker panel for the right hand side. So this is the passenger side, and I will open it up and show you guys what it looks like. Alright guys, I'm curious to see what this rocker panel looks like. This is the passenger side outer rocker panel. So I'm going to use these shears, or snippers, whatever you call it, and tear this box open. Let's see what we got. Alright. Alright. There we go. The outer rocker panel for the passenger side. So as you remember how we were making the the driver's side rocker, which we're using the passenger side template. So this goes together with this piece. So that's pretty cool. Looks pretty good actually. So I don't know if you guys remember, we'll do a side by side compared to what is on the 69 fastback and what obviously we're going to replace. So cool. All right, so starting to measure the location of the center bolt, and I already took the measurements, guys, because it's kind of hard to show you guys, but it is 9.5 inches from here to here and 2 inches from here to here. So center points on the hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it onto here. So measure from, this would be the bottom, but let's just say the top here, down the 2 inches, and then mark a 9.5. And that way we'll be at center for that hole. And then we'll get the diameter of the hole and cut drill a hole for it. Alright guys, so pretty much got the tape drawn out, and remember the 1-inch lip, so I'm going to take that into consideration. So I'm going to be bending it at 1 1/16 to create that 1-inch lip. So I'm going to go 1/16 over on the 9.5 measurement. So we will be measuring 9 9/16. So I'll put the mark right over here, and then I will go up 2.5. or 2 inches I should say, and that'll give us our center of the hole, and that'll give us the center of the hole that we are going to be using. So let's see if I can get it. So here's the 2, right, and then just kind of draw your line down. So that's going to be the center of our hole that we are going to be using, and that looks. And then the next thing we'll be able to locate is going to be the seatbelt hole. Alright guys, so we're getting ready to make that lip on the rocker panel that we're going to make. So what we're doing is going to use this bender, and pretty much this is your guide plate. You fit the metal in between and then you clamp it down. So I'm using that, and I will be using this other one right there, and then that way it'll hold it. And it's always good to have your marks ready. Because like I told you, when you are bending it, you're going to lose some. So notice how I have it straight and on the line. So I'm going to clamp the rest of it, and then we'll pull these handles, and hopefully we can get a nice, good straight bend. So give me 1 second so I can get that clamp on, and then I'll show you the video of how we work this thing. Alright guys, so I have it clamped down and ready to roll. So all we do is we just lift this up. And as you can see, I didn't clamp this side right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to release it, and then straighten it back. Push the plate a little bit more, and then we will get back to it. So not really using the right tool for it, but it should work. Alright, so I mean, sometimes we have to learn as we go along, and I really haven't used this. My brother bought it for his car. So this is what the other piece looks like, and this is what we have. So now we have our lip, right? And now we're going to end up cutting it on that yellow line all the way across, and then creating the circle. Alright guys, so here is what the outer rocker and the inner rocker look like when they are mated together. So we are going to create this shape for the wheel housing, and it's a little bit off, but you guys get the point. For the wheel housing that is on the 69, I'm going to show you guys what we look like on the actual car. So this is the outer rocker, and then this is part of the seatbelt, the inner rocker. So what we're going to do is we are going to fabricate this piece going down, which will meet your inner rocker, and then the other piece of the wheel housing, so that shape that we were talking about, to attach to the outer rocker panel. So that's what we are going to do, and starting hopefully sometime during the week, we will start to assemble that rocker panel that is in the garage, and then start taking off the old one from the 69 fastback. So right now, little stuff it's getting done, but we're lining up to make some big moves on it. Okay guys, so switched out the flat wheel from the grinder with a cutting wheel, and now what we're going to do is we're going to cut along our line that we had made to make the rest of the rocker panel. So I'm going to put on my safety glasses and gloves and be very patient. Obviously we want to make sure that we're following our cut correctly and not going too far down. So I'm going to cut a little bit before the line or on top of the line, because I don't want the piece to end up smaller than what we need, because we can always grind down material instead of having to add material. So, alright. Oh yeah, plug it in, right? Genius. Alright. So, here we go. Alright guys, so I'm going to continue with the cut, because unfortunately the camera did fall, but just to show you guys what it looks like. Alright guys, so noticed on the previous video that I had grabbed the wrong piece of metal from the one that we're actually cutting and making the piece of. So it looks like, guys, my bad, I totally got it confused, which it's too much involved in my head right now, I guess. But so here is that lip that we created, and then here is the hole for the seat belt that we're going to be creating. Actually, this is one of the center holes, I'm sorry, and then the seatbelt hole will be somewhere on this side. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. I will make the hole tomorrow, but this is the piece that we have, and she will go back here, and then obviously with the that X drilled out, and then the seatbelt hole somewhere along there. So sorry about that, guys. I do apologize. I had accidentally grabbed this one, and yeah, this is just the leftover piece. So that's where we're at, guys. Thank you, and hopefully see you guys tomorrow.